Hey, what's up, Mission Pro Wrestling faithful? Welcome to another special edition of Mission Pro Wrestling Unmatched. Tonight, I am joined by a special guest all the way from Monrovia and a co-host of the Nation's Corner, Mongrovian Mike. Mongrovian Mike, how are you tonight?
How's it going? I'm honored to be co-hosting the show with you. I always wanted to co-host the show with you.
Okay, full disclosure, we do co-host the Nation's Corner together, but I wanted to invite you on
Shameless
tonight
promotion.
because shameless promotion, because Nation's Corner is and has been a strong supporter of Mission Pro Wrestling pretty much since the beginning, and you're a big part of that. You do an awful lot for Mission Pro, from promoting and tweeting and sponsorship funding, and just you're everywhere with our promotion. And first, I want to thank you, and of course, all the folks at the Nation's Corner who also help support us.
Well, it's a group effort. People give what they can give, and they do what they can do, all in different ways, whether it be monetarily or promoting and just whatever, like we do on the show. We're always promoting. I mean, even out in shows, anywhere. I see Danny Moe in New Jersey. Hey, Mission Pro,
Mm-hmm.
it's just that's just the way it goes. Whoever I see that was from Mission Pro, anytime I even call Busted Open, I always point out anyone they're talking about. Always point out. I first saw them on Mission Pro shows. Every single one of them. Roxy. What do we have to? We don't even have to. You could spend a half hour naming everybody, and we'll still forget somebody. But it's just a testament to what Brian and Thunder and everybody else involved, and now new co-owners. This guy named George and Shannon, and
Never met him.
everybody. I mean, Jeremiah. I mean, we're always seeing each other's posts and tweets, and just always promoting in all different ways. And it's all good because it's all for something that's worth it. Any female talent I see out there on the independents, I always mention you should reach out to Brian if you're ever in the Texas area. Try and hook up, and or try and hook up with a Mission Pro show if you can, or connect, go see it, whatever. And I always promote it. And
and we appreciate all the hard work that everyone does to get the word out there about women's wrestling. There's so much happening in the world of women's wrestling, and that's kind of what we talk about here on Unmatched. We're going to talk a little bit of True Colors. There's some stuff that's going on this week that I think we should talk about. We're going to cover some of the latest news in the world of women's wrestling across the industry. There's some really cool stuff happening and did happen this past week. So let's dive right into something that I think that I've been really interested in is this title match between Genocide and Jasmine Allure. We've seen Genocide and Jasmine both post some videos. They've posted their thoughts and basically done some trash talking. But this week we saw an interview that our own Emily May did with Jasmine, and Jasmine spoke about how she felt like she was being not so much ignored, but like was underappreciated for everything that she's contributed to Mission Pro. She's been part of Mission Pro really pretty much since the beginning, and I think she's got a bit of a chip on her shoulder. In fact, we just posted a poll on Twitter, and the results are interesting. Let me pull the results up for you guys so you can see. And the question was, who was going to win at True Colors on June 10th in San Antonio? Would it be Jasmine, Allure, or Genocide? And interestingly enough, the fans largely are supporting Jasmine, which is surprising to me because Genocide's been such a strong champion for us. She's, a proud fighting champion. What do you attribute the sudden, well, not so much sudden, but the surge of fan support for Jasmine?
Well, there was fan support for her when she won the belt for 10 seconds last time, but I don't care about any poll really. I'm thinking of Bougie Reality and what she did to them. You know, it's just, you know, Genocide is such a strong champ. I mean, she's been there since practically day one. I mean, the Genocide character was created in Mission Pro. We know it comes. It came full circle. You know, she came full circle with that character in that casket match, and she won the title. And ever since then, she's been a strong champion. She's very popular with the fans. I don't understand that poll. Not unless, you know, not unless Jasmine Allure had it rigged. I don't know.
Well,
she didn't treat our friend Emily too kind.
No, she has a bit of an attitude. I will admit
she didn't treat me too kind when I was yelling at her that she was a 10-second champ.
This is true. This is true. You and Jasmine did exchange words back at Silver Bells, and I don't know that you made a new friend that night.
RA has it on record. He has photographic evidence of trying to assault a handicapped old man.
All right, that might be taking it a bit too far.
No, I know. I admit. You know what? In all fairness, she's held championship gold 10 seconds longer than I ever have. So
this is true.
I will. You know what? She turned on my Bougie Reality. So I have to stay faithful to them and Genocide. And by the way, those are the longest lines all the time at the merch and meet and greet and get photographs with. So, you know, and how can you deny those kids coming out with the Genocide shirts and coming out with, you know, the little muscle army?
Look, I'm not gonna throw any shade on Genocide as a champion and as a strong role model for the kids, especially those kids that were in those really cool shirts, and I really kind of want one of those shirts. Oh, I see. We have a super chat in the chat. Shout out to Sam in Cleveland. Sam's voting for Genocide. All right, there we go. A lot of people in the chat today. Let's give a quick shout out to Pepe's in there, and RA, Neil, Matthew, Brent, Mrs. Front Row is in there. We have our very own. See, Neil. I called Neil Mind Runners in here. Man, a lot of folks. Mind Runner, yes. And let's see. I think that's about it. No, there's more people piling in every moment. So thanks everybody for joining in the chat. You know, please post your questions and feel free to contribute because we got a lot of stuff that we want to talk about tonight. So at True Colors on June 10th, make sure you get your tickets at missionprowrestling.com. And you have, if you're interested in any sponsorship opportunities, email us at missionprowrestling@gmail.com. There are still some opportunities available. Sponsor a wrestler or a match or the whole show. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. This is going to be one that you're going to want to be part of. So, and just a reminder, if you're not able to join us in San Antonio, make sure to tune in at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern on Title Match Network.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about that. You mentioned Bougie Reality, and of course at Kickstart My Heart, Bougie Reality did team up with Jasmine Allure, and Jasmine turned on them. And maybe I think some of her thoughts she shared about how she didn't feel like they were coming to her rescue when she was sort of getting beat up in the corner, and the Men's Revolution was basically had separated her from the team and attacked her. So do you think Jasmine was justified in turning on them, or how do you feel about that?
No, I don't think she was justified at all for that. She just like she wasn't justified at attacking our very own Emily. You know, it's bad enough Emily has to deal with crazy referees running around with freaking shovels, taking over her broadcasts. So, you know, that's enough. So leave Emily alone, and you should be happy that you were a 10-second champ. And you were a 10 seconds in the side character spotlight of Maddie. So there you go.
Okay. Oh, and quick shout out. Shout out to Maddie
Smooches.
Minkowski. Today is Maddie's birthday. Happy birthday to one half of the Mission Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions. And if you guys are not paying attention to Maddie's socials and looking at her side character videos, they're some of the funniest things. Maddie is incredibly hilarious. I think it's wildly
Literally.
creative. Literally, yes.
Literally.
Okay, Neil. Now Neil's throwing shade at you. Like, that's
He's
not
throwing
cool.
shade at me. He's out. What are we on? What? This is every day.
Okay, maybe if Neil keeps talking this much crap, I'll have to share some pictures of our last Mission Pro trip. We'll talk about that another time, but someone may have fallen asleep in the rain. I don't know. It might have happened, maybe not. Who knows? Okay,
Isn't that a
so
Whitesnake song? When you're falling asleep in the rain.
maybe. Okay, so let's jump into some of the latest news. This weekend was so cool because in New Japan, on New Japan Pro Wrestling, we did see a tournament to crown the inaugural Strong Women's Champion, and I thought this was really, really cool to see. We saw the semifinals. Mercedes beat Stephanie, and Willow beat Momo Okogo, and this championship match, this title match that main evented the pay-per-view, which, by the way, super cool. Two women of color main eventing a New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-view and putting on an absolutely stellar match. Like, I've seen Willow wrestle a million times locally here and at Mission Pro and just all over the place. And boy, did she deliver. And
Yeah.
because when you're in the ring with the Mercedes Moné, you better bring your A game, right? So I wanted to get your thoughts on the match and the surprise of, because I think most people anticipated seeing Mercedes as champion, but that's not what we saw.
That is not what we saw, and a lot of people surmise things, but they shouldn't have surmised until after they, after it's confirmed. But it turned out to be confirmed anyway. But to wrestle Mercedes, Mercedes Moné,
Moné.
she's gonna make you wrestle up to her, and she's gonna, as we say with our very own Thunder, she's gonna lay her shit in.
Mm-hmm.
And things happen. She had what they would say a bad day at the office, had that bad fall, but did manage to finish the match, just like not like any other sport. The talent always finishes the match, and she did. It went Willow's way, and I, as a Long Island, I'm very proud for Willow. It was freaking awesome. It was so cool, and anything can happen. And good luck to the new champ.
Yeah, and how cool is it? Because Willow gets to say for the rest of her life she was the inaugural Strong Women's Champion.
That's it. Can't take that away.
The equity and the importance of a New Japan title can't be understated. So to see, someone like Willow work so hard for so long, we know, I know from seeing her, locally here in Charlotte, she had a bad injury and it took her a long time to recover and come back to wrestling. So
yeah,
she came back fighting and, clawing her way to an AEW contract. And here she is on global pay-per-view in the main event, winning an inaugural title. And I'm happy for her as a person. I'm super happy as a fan. And yeah, I want to mention, Mindrunner does mention that he handpicked Willow to represent AEW in the tournament. That's a big deal. Like, there's a lot of people on the AEW roster that could have filled that spot.
Yes.
And to choose Willow really says there's a lot of faith in her.
Could it be that Mercedes asked for Willow also?
We don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows? It's possible.
Know. But either way, it happened, and she was one out of there's many we all know that there's many that are sitting there, and they're in AEW.
Yeah, and I agree with Neil. Yeah, huge main event match. So what I'm going to be
awesome.
What I'm going to be interested to see.
Shout out to Neil for hooking me up with it too, man. Thanks, buddy.
There's it's going to be really interesting to see how this title is, how and where this title is going to be defended. You know, maybe folks in the chat can keep me honest if there's been any statements made about Willow's first defense of that title, but you know, I expect we'll see her in Japan. I expect we'll see her on maybe AEW and Ring of Honor television. That title could go anywhere. So
can we call them? Can we call AEW on the carpet a little bit for the not seizing that, not catching that lightning in a bottle point that they could have had with Willow and all the things that they could have pointed out. A woman, first of all, main event, a woman of color main eventing a New Japan event from AEW. You know, have her come out with that belt. Don't just show some little vignette. Just give that woman some shine, because you know what, it was a surprise to her, to everybody, and it's what everything's made of. You know, I mean, she's gonna do so good with this title. I think she's gonna really light a spark for people, because she's very infectious personality and of positivity and always smiling. But then you get her mad and the straps come down and there you go. And plus, I don't mind hearing what's his name, Caprice Coleman doing his little Willow raps as she's coming out to the ring. I could hear that every I could hear that every time she comes out. That's fun. She's gonna be a great champ. You know, sometimes, hey, before your guy Tom Brady, when he got called up, it was because of an injury, right?
Yeah, Drew Bledsoe. Yeah.
So this stuff happens. So we don't know what we have, but we have a diamond in the rough that just, you know, now everybody knows about. And that's great. And she's from Long Island. And I know me, Neil, and John, and the whole Nation's Corner crew are very happy for her.
Yeah. And
we wish Mercedes a speedy recovery. And she's great, and she'll be back.
Yeah, no doubt. And yeah, so speaking of big opportunities this week on Dynamite, we saw one of my favorite wrestlers, one of our favorite people, someone that we've gotten to know over the years. Lady Frost was on wearing the Lady Frost shirt. Thank you very much. Nice. Old school shirt. And Lady Frost did face off against Taya Valkyrie. And typically these type of matches, I know the story that they're telling is Taya, you know, they're gearing up for this match with Taya versus Jade at Double or Nothing this weekend. But I thought this match was very competitive. Lady Frost got a lot of great offense in, and she even broke out her signature snowball fight, which is, we popped huge when we saw that, because my wife and I have seen her perform that move countless times at all kinds of different shows, and it always gets a huge reaction. So, but it was a good back and forth. And I think Lady Frost really showed that she's, you know, capable of having big, important matches on global television. So shout out to Lady Frost, and I'm very happy.
And also a shout out to Savage Gentleman Victor Benjamin for standing his account for a few days for Lady Frost.
Victor's a good dude. I like Victor. Yeah, they're a powerhouse couple, those two. If you've ever seen them in tag team action as a tag team, man, they're really good.
That's a tandem I would not want to face.
No, definitely not. I see a lot of signed Lady Frost sign in here.
Hashtag we were doing it.
I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. So, and so the part of that match that I thought was interesting is I expected Jade and the baddies to come out and interfere in the match. And although they did make their presence known, they didn't really get involved. which was good for Lady Frost that her match didn't end with some sort of shenanigans or whatever. But this match this weekend with Taya and Jade, my pick is for Taya to take this title from Jade. I think it's time. Jade's built it up. There's a lot of equity in the title now with 60 or whatever wins, over 60 wins. I think it's time now. So, Mike, do you think Jade's going to roll on as champion, or do you see Taya? Do you see an end new?
It's hard to call, but at a pay-per-view, who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Taya Valkyrie all the way. But yeah, Ty's got to take it. Now, am I right or wrong? But Jade last time did the 1-2. She did 1-1 that was 58, 59, 60, right? She went, or was it 59 and then 60?
It was 59, 60, yeah.
Yeah, so she's at 60.
I think so.
I think 60 is a nice round number to stop the rule of Jadeberg. So
yeah, I think
Taya will bring it fresh. She'll bring a lot of fresh. The people need to see her. I mean, she was on Impact, so and she was and in the Frankie Monet that was her, but now we want to see the Lorena Ray champion, and you know what I mean. And we want to see the MLW Women's Champion that she was, and all that. She's tough. Yeah. We're gonna see some hardcore matches out of her.
I mean, look, I'm gonna throw a lot of credit and a lot of respect Jade's way. She's been a dominant champion. She's an incredible athlete. But for me, we've seen Taya wrestle all over the world. She was the Reina de Reina champion in AAA. I believe she was Impact Knockouts champion. She was MLW champion. She's been in this game a long time. She's incredibly talented. I think she'd be a great representation of the company and the network as a TBS champion. So my money's on Taya. We'll see what happens at Double or Nothing. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I think it's time. I think it's time for Jade to start going for the bigger gold. She's been holding for lack of a better term, she's been holding the Intercontinental Championship, and to me that means when you drop that means you're going for the big one because you've held that. Now you get a chance to go up the ladder to the big one. So she's got to go after Hayter or probably the dentist when she turns on Hayter. And yeah, that's what I want. I want to see Jade going for other people. Enough of the squash match. I want to see some substantive storylines with her where I want to see her have a little bit of a struggle getting there, not this my way all the time. I want to see her have a little adversity.
Yeah, I think so.
Tell a story.
Yeah, and of course the main title scene is sort of, it's murky right now because we've got the Outcasts, versus the originals, and having that many people involved in a title scene is sort of weird, but we'll see what happens after this weekend. I think at some point I would like to see Jamie just sort of break off, and if she's going to remain champion, then just be a dominant individual champion without any sort of sidekicks or support or whatever, because she's very, very capable of it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, her sidekick is when she comes out makes her look like the sidekick.
Well, yeah. Oh, that's a whole separate conversation.
That is a whole separate conversation. But Jamie Hayter needs to be out there and defending that belt. She's great.
So we also saw they posted another sizzle reel for AEW Collision coming up, and they made the announcement that the debut episode was going to be live from Chicago at the United Center, right? Which is not a surprise. It was pretty much what everybody expected, but it's really cool because they showed the sizzle reel with like Samoa Joe and FTR and Thunder, like in some very different gear with just a very, edgy sort of dark appearance. And the look and the feel of the video to me tells me that this is going to be a different kind of show. So I'm definitely hoping we get a new product from AEW, something different.
Yes, I mean I'm excited for it, and people can say whatever they want on Saturday nights. I don't do nothing.
Well, I mean, this is pretty cool having a live 2-hour show on a Saturday night. And if they have stories that are compelling, like we always talk about here and on the Nation's Corner, if stories are compelling enough, people will tune in. So let's go. As Tony Khan says, let's effing go, right?
Yeah. And if it comes closer to our area, that's a Saturday night. A Saturday night,
Well, July they're going to be in Newark.
We could all gather, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like something that the crew can all get together for a weekend and not have to even miss any work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, what about Impact too? Shout out to Trinity too.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. So let's talk about, some of the other promotions too. I wanted to talk through the AEW stuff because there's a lot going on this weekend heading into Double or Nothing. And of course, just the last thing I'll say about AEW is the ticket sales for All In are insane. Like, I think they're over 65,000 sold. They haven't announced the match. It's still months away. That's already a huge success. So
if you're still selling tickets, hand over fist, why even announce a match?
Yeah.
As soon as it slows down, announce a killer match, and then it'll start selling more.
Well, who knows? We'll see. We'll see if maybe there's a debut at Collision. Rumors are flying. So let's see what happens. So let's. I don't get a chance to watch that much Impact. Although everything I hear about Impact is that their women's division is one of the best women's divisions on the planet. So give me a couple of highlights from like the recent weeks.
All right. Well, I mean, just tonight you had the Virtuosa, the new again Knockouts champion, Deonna Purrazzo, cutting a good promo backstage, letting everyone know what's what. And you even had let me see. Oh, you had Kill Kelly had a little encounter.
Oh, with Masha.
In the bowels of the studio with Masha Slamovich, and she's on Masha's list, and I feel bad for Killer Kelly because she's going to get killed.
I don't think Masha is somebody that you want to pick a fight with. Not on any day.
I don't even think Killer picked a fight with her. I think Masha was hunting.
Oh no! Okay.
He needs some blood, I guess. I don't know. Not to mention, we're talking about some Mission Pro alumni. Last night, even on Fight Plus, we saw a nice main event. It was a co-main event, but the main event for me was Masha against our very own Janai Kai, the Kick Demon. It was a battle, but Janai tapped out, unfortunately. But Masha is the champ. She's got so many belts. I don't even know what belt this one is. You know what I mean? I mean, she's just collecting belts and ears and nose. I don't know what the hell she's collected. She's collecting body parts and belts wherever she goes. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the opportunity to interview Masha a few times, and she terrifies me. Like, so I get it.
She's metal.
Yeah. So I wanted to just switch gears and talk a little WWE. One of the things I think we talked about Raw this week. Raw had one of the better Raws we've seen in a long time. The flow of the show is all very cohesive. There were nice through lines through the whole show. But one of the things that stuck out to me the most, surprisingly, well, I guess not surprisingly, but the contract signing between Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch. Now, Trish, back in the Attitude Era, was not known for her promo skills, but I would argue that this version of Trish is light years better than the promos we got back in the day. She's been a good heel. She's not yelled. She's been very cold and calculating in her delivery. But when you're sitting across the table from Becky Lynch, one of the best promos in the business, she's going to take you to town. Like, it's not going to be a good night. And Becky just left those sunglasses on until it was her turn to talk. And one of the things I noticed, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Becky didn't stand up. She sat there and she eviscerated Trish and didn't even have to stand or raise her voice. And that's the mark of someone who's so comfortable in who she is on TV, on the mic. To me, there's just very few people who can hang with her.
Yeah. Well, that's how she is in social media. So that's why she could just sit right there, because she's just holding a mic rather than typing it out. That's how good she is. She does it to the people. You know, she'll cut your ribbons right on social media. That's why can stay on there and she never leaves. But she uses it to the storyline's advantage too. But yeah. And shout out to Becky for giving the Scorpions the Blackout album cover. That's what she was wearing.
That's right. Maybe.
No,
I don't know at first. You'd have to ask her.
I think those are I think those are forks.
I think they were fingers. I think they were supposed to be hands.
Those were hands, like ripping out her eyeballs.
But moment.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Becky can hold her own. Nobody can. You know, she's so good on the mic, and she's kind of intimidating. Maybe with that brogue too. You know, that maybe that might intimidate me a little too. She's the man. And
but that
you're
callback,
right with Trish, though. Trish talking low and just getting her point across. She's doing good, doing just like that. No yelling. Perfect.
Yeah. And that moment where Becky sort of, she said, I had to, you know, I've accomplished so much in my career. I've earned the respect. I've done so much. I've main evented WrestleMania. I've done all these things. And she essentially called out Trish for being famous for barking like a dog. And she referenced that promo, or that terrible segment between Trish and Vince back in the Attitude Era. And I love the way that Becky just basically dismissed her entire career as like, okay, but you did something back then that was kind of funny. I'm actually a world champion who's main evented WrestleMania. She, in one sentence, separated herself from Trish. And it was really, really good.
Yeah. It's what can you say? It's the man. She's just there's only a few that could do it like her, and
yeah,
that, you know, we have to be honest. I mean, Trish is Hall of Fame and great, and was there, and you know, she did. You could see that she wanted to learn, hence why, you know, I mean, I put it this way: anyone that's going to go through a table with the Dudleys is cool to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and we found out later on. You know, Bully Ray has spoken, you know, frequently about how people didn't realize that Trish would show up very early to TV days and just train all day. She would train all day with the veterans and then go on and do TV and have matches at night. So I have a lot of respect for somebody that puts that much effort into, you know, getting better every week. So
the things that those guys, that the wrestlers on Busted Open say, when they take us behind the curtain about certain people that you might have certain ideas about, like even Stacy Keibler, you know, I mean, they you could argue about things about that those deserve to be in the Hall of Fame and this and that, but back in the day, those women took pretty good bumps.
Mm-hmm.
But Mae Young took the best.
That might be true.
Nobody beats her.
Someone else who, of course, we're continuing to keep an eye on is Zoe Stark. She had a great backstage promo. She defeated Candice LeRae with one of my favorite finishers in the game right now, and that's her Z360, the spinning, almost like a GTS type of move.
Like, what you go, what, and boom, out.
Yeah. It's a very cool finishing move, and it's very impactful. I hope they continue to protect that because she's really kicking ass with that.
There are some cool finisher moves that some of these women in WWE NXT are doing. So Ruka's got that one off that stunner off the rope, whatever how she does. She flips into a stun. I don't know what the hell she does, but that's pretty sick. Even she was a guest today on Bus Up, with Tiffany Stratton. She does the hop up to the top and the back, and does the moonsault, and it's a pretty good move, very athletic. But she can get some people's skills. Little spoiled brat.
Anyway. But you know what? To that point, Mike, like I was genuinely surprised at the outcome of the finals of that tournament because I did not see Lyra Valkyria and Tiffany Stratton in the finals. Like I was really surprised that Roxanne Perez didn't advance to the finals.
I kind of like it, like the way everybody was with, like with Gigi and JC Jane. They're out of it too, and I was glad about that because I want to see them tell that story that they want to tell. And the same thing with, I think there's a story that Roxy might have to tell without going after the belt. There might be another story somewhere for her to tell. Like, I don't know. I'm calling her Roxanne Perez.
Well, it is kind of funny because her nickname is Roxy, Roxy. Like they call her Roxy, but it's Roxy, right? So, but there is so much going on in NXT, and we don't really have time to cover all of it tonight.
No.
If you're a fan of women's wrestling, check out NXT. There's a lot of women's of Mission Pro people who have come through the Mission Pro doors and shared the ring with some of our folks. So it's really, really cool. And I did want to just touch on real quick. So Ring of Honor tonight on tonight's show had 7 women's matches. And I'm just going to bring them up real quick. We're not going to go through each match, but I just want to bring up the match graphics for each one. We saw Ashley D'Amboise versus Danielle Camella, who was in NXT. We saw Athena versus Promise Braxton. We saw Dream Girl Ellie, Mercedes Martinez, Diamante versus Trisha Dora, Vert Vixen versus Kiera Hogan, Willow Nightingale versus Hyan, and Sky Blue versus Miranda Alize. A lot of these women are former Mission Pro talent, which is really, really cool for us. But shout out to all of these women because Ring of Honor is really showcasing some incredibly gifted performers.
Was that one was the one from NXT? Was she with the one that was with
That's
what was
Danielle.
her name in NXT?
She
forget. Was with Aaliyah, right? She was. Okay.
Jessie Camilla. She was Jessie Camilla.
Okay, that's it. Okay, I got it. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
I knew I was recognizing someone from NXT, but I was mixing up who they were, who the person that they were from NXT. I remember the name. Okay.
So, man, like I have to go back. I may have to start watching Ring of Honor because you guys have been talking about it forever, and this new version of the brand has been getting like very, very good reviews, especially my personal focus on the women's division, especially with Athena as their champion. Like, man, I might have to go back and watch these matches.
Tonight was, I think, like a kind of a super card of honor type.
Yeah, it was like 3 and change. 3 hours.
It was like 3 hours and change, I think. So it was like kind of their kind of pay-per-view. And I'll tell you, Mercedes Martinez kicked some butt. And it was very good. I saw a couple, but I got to go back and watch. It was There's too much wrestling tonight. Too much wrestling all week. What the heck's going on, man? It's a busy weekend, man.
It is. We've got a Night of Champions from Saudi Arabia on Saturday. We have
At least that's in the afternoon.
Well, yeah. Double or Nothing is Sunday night. There's
on a side note with Night of Champions, I'm very happy for Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm. Did you see his post this afternoon?
That's what I was going to talk about, yeah. And you can pronounce the words and say it more better than I can. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to pronounce what he was going on, but he was allowed to go on his own religious journey and be allowed into Saudi now, which is very important to him and to Syrian people.
Yep. He was definitely very emotional. I saw his post. I saw some of the pictures, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So
and everybody knows that he hasn't been able to be at any of the other Saudi shows because of that, because of politics. Let's just say. And
well, we can only hope that diplomatic conversations continue. I don't know all the ins and outs of all of it, so I don't pretend to be an expert, but it sounds like it's a positive step in the right direction. So,
well, when they see Vince with his mustache, they'll talk.
Maybe. All right, so folks, we are just over 2 weeks away from Mission Pro Wrestling True Colors. Make sure you check us out. Check all the socials. We have more content, more interviews, you're going to hear from the talents directly every Tuesday night on a Mission. We'll have new interviews. Emily and Veda will be doing some really fun interviews. Mondays are our Match Monday, and Thursdays, of course, is our Unmatched show, which you're currently watching. And then, of course, on June 10th, True Colors live on Title Match Network, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're interested in sponsorship opportunities, missionprowrestling@gmail.com, and we'll get right back to you.
Yep.
And if you need tickets, if you're going to be in the area, missionprowrestling.com. It's your source for all Mission Pro stuff. Mike, where can folks find you on the socials, and what do you have coming up?
Well, you can find me on the Nation's Corner on Saturday nights at 7:00. Unless there's an important pay-per-view, and we usually do an hour earlier. So that's probably where you can find me. You can find me on the socials at Mongrovian Mike. And
or Busted Open.
Or Busted Open. Oh yeah, you can find Dave LaGreca newly named the show. It's now called Mongrovian Mike's Corner.
Hey, you can have that conversation with Deb Housen and Tony Justice. That's between you.
And Tony knows. Tony heard it. He said he cut me off. I was about to say, no, we're a team, man. It's us.
He did. Dave's a heel. Man. Dave's a heel, man. All right, folks. Thank you, everybody, for joining. You can find me at PW Front Row on the socials. Make sure you like and subscribe and turn on those notifications. I will be on assignment on vacation next week, so you'll probably have some special guest hosts on Thursday. Stay tuned to our socials for more updates. And thank you again for everybody joining. I hope you all have a great weekend. Lots of wrestling to watch. That's right.